Hey, hi, all right. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm just headed into the office right now to record a video right on that very subject, believe it or not. And yeah, so look, if I were you, what I would do is talk to your manager's secretary right away. Tell her to get him to get a hold of you because this situation is unsafe. Absolutely no two ways about it. And somebody's going to get hurt and it's not sustainable. But I got to go. I'm just starting to record a video. In fact, I'm rolling right now. So yeah, give me a call back or I'll call you back and we'll find out how this turned out. Okay? Take care. Bye for now. Hey, hi, how are you? Yeah, exchanges like that one you just heard are becoming more and more commonplace these days. And it's a big mistake. And you know what? It's going to get people killed if it hasn't already.
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? Sorry about that. My bad. I'm talking about organizations essentially rendering their safety professionals useless, sending them out onto the floor or into the field, whatever, but not permitting or allowing them to be useful.
What's your point, Kevin?
Okay, sorry. Once again, not clear, I guess. My bad. I'll fix it. I'm talking about that age-old dilemma of organizations not wanting their safety professionals to undermine management and not to speak to or correct the workers out on the floor or in the field. Instead, they're just to write them up or write a memo to management or try to contact management and have the manager correct the workers. You know what? That's stupid. It's wrong. It's going to cause you way bigger problems and more heartache than you can ever imagine. Let me outline for you a few situations, hypothetical if you will, that could occur when you're not letting your safety professional not do his or her job. And then maybe also what I think are some of the reasons why it's happening in your organization, and then some solutions for you. Oh, and you safety professionals, there's going to be a warning in here specifically for you, so I suggest you stick around. This isn't just for managers. Number one, the first example is pretty much what you previously heard. It's an example where a manager insists, or an organization insists, that the manager be the one that corrects the workers out on the floor, in the field, or in their section or department, whatever. And as a result, when something goes wrong and the safety professional is trying to contact that manager and the manager is unavailable, an unsafe or dangerous condition is allowed to persist and fester until something bad happens. Or, number two, the manager, being busy but having good intentions, acknowledges the email, the memo, the call, and notes that he or she will get onto it as soon as they can. And then, well, no, it gets shoved to the bottom of the pile. Not by any fault of them. We all experience this. As soon as we put the phone down, we move to the next email, read the next memo, we're distracted and immediately priorities shift. And that issue, whether the manager had good intentions to deal with it or not, quickly gets forgotten and nothing gets corrected, which can, yeah, you guessed it, end up with someone getting hurt or worse. Number three, the manager, also likely with good intentions, but without context, heads out the door into the field, out onto the floor to correct the situation. Likely, more than likely, not quite sure what's going on, but like I said, heading out the door with good intentions and ends up causing more harm than good. Now, without context or knowing the whole situation or even some of the recommended corrective actions, it can get ugly. Or on the flip side, workers might have completely forgotten about the incident and moved on. It's kind of almost like that bad parenting situation, where the mom says, wait till your dad gets home, and then by the time the father gets home, the kids are in bed or they've forgotten what they've done, and it's useless. The same thing occurs with workers, and then what happens is correction has lost its effect in the moment. And then this one's the worst. The manager comes down, strapped with attitude, and says things like, the safety Nazi, he's on this again, or, we got to keep that safety gal happy. Or look, I know it's tough, we have work to do, but maybe just keep her happy and she'll be on her way. Or work like he wants you to when he's looking. Or when he's not around, I know that you guys produce and I'm pretty proud of you, so just keep producing. But when that idiot shows up, just look like you're working safe. In other words, it's safety insincerity at its best. Any one of these things I've outlined does your safety culture in your organization harm, way more harm than you could imagine. It undermines the ability of the safety professional to do their job and in effect renders them useless. And we have a hard enough time getting buy-in as it is. So this is of no help whatsoever. Stuff like this, when it's allowed to grow and fester in an organization, is harmful. So why is it happening? Well, I'm going to share from the experiences that I've had a few reasons or a few causes that why it might be occurring in your organization. So number one, the first one, I've seen this a lot. Oh, he or she is a brand new manager and we got to give them some slack. Let them get their feet under them. Let them grow with their team. Don't undermine them. Just maybe go to them, talk to them when there's issues with the team, with safety, and let the new manager correct it. Let them get some experience. Ah, shucks, golly gee, Muffin, you hired an inexperienced manager and then want to get them to get experience on your floor, on your time? Great, that's on you, not on your safety professional. So maybe try this instead. Have your manager work closely with the safety professional so they can develop a relationship together. One where the safety professional will be able to correct the workers on the floor, and the manager in turn will be secure that the safety professional is speaking for them when it comes to doing things like stopping unsafe work or correcting procedural issues. This way, you foster a good culture and you're not undermining the authority of the manager when they're seen working together hand in hand with the safety professional. It makes a huge difference. Now, the second one, number two, I see often is the manager has an insecurity issue. They're insecure for whatever reason. It could be one of many things. But one thing I do know for sure, we can't do anything about their insecurity or personality traits. It's not our job. It's not the job of the safety professional. However, what an organization needs to do is ensure that there are clear boundaries. There's no blurred lines. There's no gray areas. And that it's quite clear what the safety professional is there to do, and what the manager can expect from the safety professional. That the safety professional will correct any unsafe acts and will communicate with the manager, providing them an update, and always ensure that this line of communication is open. Now, that's up to the organization to establish. And then when they establish it from the top down, then the bottom up will understand the process, and everyone will understand when the safety professional is providing correction, it's on the manager and the organization's leadership's behalf. Now, finally, the last one, and this has something to do, and it's something in common with both number one and two, and that is the manager is a control freak. As Simon Sinek put it, leaders in organizations often become leaders because they could do their job well, not because they exhibited leadership qualities or traits. And therein lies the problem. This manager, this leader, if you will expect it. Every one of their subordinates will perform in the same way that they did, doing the job the same way they did. And we all know that that won't happen and it will not work. In the same token, these folks, these leaders who have become leaders because of job effectiveness, not leadership, also know the safest way to do it. And they won't like taking correction either. This same attitude often trickles down to their team. Or their team just accepts that they will take their marching orders only from the type AAA personality leading them. Why? Well, because it's just easier than the alternative. So now this takes us to solutions. And while there's really only one, but it's big. These situations that I've outlined and are present in your organization, then safety is really not part of your workflow or corporate culture. If it is, well, it's just tokenism at best. Organizations need to implement a process and a mindset that the safety professional will speak for the leadership when they're stopping unsafe or dangerous work, when they're providing spot correction and recommendations for corrective actions, and above all, when they're consulting with the workforce on developing safe work procedures. In doing this, when the safety professional is allowed to involve workers in creating procedures, it just works better for plain and obvious reasons. This is part of a successful safety culture. Executives and senior managers, when you adopt this corporate life principle, if you will, you're truly demonstrating that you value worker safety, and safety is entrenched in your corporate culture. This leads me to that warning for you safety professionals. So do me a favor, listen closely, okay? You, yes, you are instrumental in this process being successful. Or on the flip side, you, through your own hubris and arrogance, can absolutely shred an organization's safety culture and set it back for years. So you need to be very mindful of a few things. Number one, the chain of command. Which workers report to which managers? Number two, you need to work with management to set up reasonable and practicable timelines for reporting and communicating with managers your interactions with your teams and stick to them. Number 3, establish with managers what is immediately reportable to them and by what method, meaning what level of severity of infraction do they want to immediately know about. I'll give you a hint on setting this up. Your risk matrix would come in very handy here. And 4. And finally, these guidelines that have been drawn up, stick to them. No buddy, I'll look the other way favors or I'll let this go for now, but don't do it again kind of deals. This way, your ethics and integrity will remain intact and the integrity of the process is maintained and respected. Establishing this process will also create an environment where workers will take more ownership of their working environment, working to keep it safe. Essentially, the organization, you, leaderships, what you're doing when you're doing this, you're creating an environment where safety leadership can flourish. It doesn't matter where anyone is on the corporate ladder. To be a safety leader, to influence safety, all they need to do is lead by example, work safe, and provoke safety in others. Now, if you want to know more about using that risk matrix and adopting those guidelines about informing a manager, similar to what I just mentioned, you can check out this video here regarding risk matrices. And also, do me a favor, lead by example. Be that safety leader. Work safe, and when you're walking the walk, talk the talk. Be that safety influencer. Okay? Take care. Bye for now. I got a phone call to make.